And now we have Dr. Oluwafunminiyi Raheem, a historian and academic from Osun State University, Osun, will join us now to talk on the topic we have at hand. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
All right, so just before we get into the discourse, earlier today, Donald Trump emerged victorious at the 2024 presidential election in the U.S. What do you make of his emergence and the world order?
Well, it's democracy. It's the voice of the people, the vote of the people. It clearly shows that the vote of the people have been able to count as far as election is concerned. But of course, people across the world have concerns over Donald Trump's victory for obvious reasons. One is that this is a man that was convicted, impeached, and had caused serious strain in the global contemporary order. So it's really a concern for people across the world. But of course, it's victory for democracy. It's victory for the people of the American states.
All right, so what lessons do you think Nigerians could learn from the conduct of the election in U.S.?
Of course, several of them. One is that votes will definitely count. Once you have candidates, who come up for elections, votes should necessarily be able to count, and that's what we have seen in this election. Now, within the space of 24 hours, we have results coming from all the states, across the United States. The result, coming out from polling units immediately when elections, votes are being cast. So it's a lesson for us, particularly for INEC. It's also an opportunity for us as a country to see the electoral process as an avenue, to elect, in quotes now, credible candidates. So,
Okay, all right. So now let's move on to the main topic we have at hand. That is the reversal of the admission age. So what does the reversal of the 18-year admission benchmark portend for educational development in Nigeria?
well, as far as I'm concerned, it's what I call a policy somersault from the federal government, because this is the same federal government that came up with the policy of 18 years and then coming out again to suspend the same policy. But give or take, really, I'm an academic, and we've seen these things play in and out, year in, year out, where young people, probably within the age of 16, 15, 16, are admitted into our universities. And when they come in there, they are either inexperienced, they're immature, they're not well groomed, to come into a system of higher learning. And at some point in time, they miss it. It's either they join bad gangs, or they are overwhelmed by peer pressure. At the end of the day, they miss it. So I think pegging the age limit to 18, it's a good sign, and I hope the government will get it right this time around.
Okay, all right. So seeing that a lot of institutions that are responsible for facilitating admission in school, and we're talking about WAEC, NECO, JAM, they were all just given a recent instruction. And now that it's being changed, do you think tertiary institutions will be willing to comply with this new development?
Well, they have no other choice than to comply. They want to admit students in the current academic session or academic year, so they have no choice than to comply with the federal government directive to do so.
Okay, all right. And what do you think that the country is ready for technical education, even as the minister is apt in it, because they're trying to make difference in our educational system? So do you think Nigeria is ready to really face this new innovation of embracing technical education in schools?
Well, there have been technical and vocational technical schools across the country over the years, but of course, perhaps lack of planning, or lack of follow-up, lack of implementation has led to most of these technical schools, running into challenges. But of course, with the revival of the interest of the federal government in, technology, technical skills, it's a no-brainer, and I think it's something that's basically going to help this country going forward. Perhaps we need a system whereby students, right from primary school level to tertiary institution level, are being taught, groomed, to learn technological skills that would, of course, transform Nigeria into a technological hub. We need it as a country, particularly in our security lapses, to help our security lapses, the agricultural challenges we have, and other kinds of challenges we face as a nation. So it's a good initiative, and I hope that the federal government will do much, to ensure that this idea, is strengthened going forward.
All right, we really thank you so much for your contributions on our news at this time. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, that's Dr. Oluwafunminiyi, Raheem, a historian and academic from Osun State University, Osogbo.